Damn guys, I can't even make this up. Look at the timing that I decided to take this wheel off. This tire is completely split. Welcome back to the infamous project, guys. I don't know if this will be its own video or just a short little interlude, or maybe just a YouTube short, but you can see I got my 2000 SVT Lightning jacked up on this corner here, and I'm going to be making my rounds on every corner. And the reason for that is, well, my DJM suspension has seen 75,000 miles, been all over the world, and it's time to swap out the shocks. So my front shocks actually blew out quite some time ago. They were pretty weak, I would say, before the truck left Dubai. When it got back to the US, the truck was still driving. This was before my motor blew up. And my friend Lewis had the Bilsteins out of his Sonic Blue Lightning, and I took the front DJMs out and I put in his Bilsteins. Well, his Bilsteins were the original ones to his truck. Well, needless to say, that's from 2004. So even if they were low miles, that's a long time for a shock. And needless to say, the bushings are in really, really bad shape. In fact, on this passenger side, when I take this guy off, you guys are going to see it for yourselves. The bushing's not even there at the bottom. So to avoid all of the bumping and clanking and all of the sounds, and well, you can feel it when you're driving down the road. You guys should know what a busted out shock feels like. And you know, I am a huge advocate for making sure that your struts and shocks are up to date, that they're sound, that they're working and doing what they're supposed to, because it's probably one of the best mods or best maintenance items that you could do to make sure that you're enjoying your ride when you're going down the road. Now, in this case specifically, you know, this truck is slammed. So, you know, 5 inches down over stock on the front and putting those factory Bilsteins in there. Well, those Bilsteins were meant for factory ride height in 2004 and not to be 5 inches lower. So needless to say, they were on borrowed time regardless of the bushings. So I reached out to DJM and I said, hey, listen guys, I bought this kit, you know, 15 years ago, 12, 15 years ago, whatever it is now, definitely over 10 years. I told them the story about the truck, everything that you guys have heard. So I asked them, are you guys willing to help me out any? And you know what? They sent me brand new shocks, front and rear. And these are their DJM Super Shocks that are provided when you buy their lowering kits, and they are very, very small, as you can see, because, well, they're designed for your truck being that much lower down to the ground. So definitely going to try and swap the fronts out right now. If I can get to the rears, I will. I feel like I might end up fighting a couple bolts and everything else, but we'll see how it goes. But I'm excited to get the front end of this truck right, because even when I'm going over bumps, I can hear the rattles, and you know, I got a little bit of bump steer and everything else going on right now. So we'll go ahead and get all that sorted out right now. I'm going to pop that wheel off. Yes, I have a jack stand under the truck as well, and I'm going to show you guys firsthand what that shock looks like. Woo. Damn guys, I can't even make this up. Look at the timing that I decided to take this wheel off. This tire is completely split on the inside edge here. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and say these are older tires, and the truck does have camber. But I guarantee you something happened. This tire was probably driven on extremely flat or with low tire pressure, and I'm assuming that's what probably ended up causing this. Like, the tire's full, it's not low right now, but it was just a matter of time before this thing was going to get blown out. So thankfully, I think I do have an extra tire here. Need to double check my inventory. I got 4 brand new tires sitting up in Canada, but yeah guys, this isn't good. Definitely can't drive anywhere on this tire. So that's a bit of a kicker. At least it holds air. I will still go ahead and replace the shock, but maintenance. So here's our shock. I actually sprayed these nuts down probably a week ago to hopefully keep them from spinning. And if we look down on the bottom side here, so we look here, there's supposed to be a bushing in there, and there's nothing. So we'll go ahead and pull this out and get the new shock in. Alright guys, there we go. A little bit of a scratch on this one. It's from that tight fit, getting it to squeeze in there, but it's in. Before I forget, don't forget to grease all of your bushings. And in this case, the DJM kit, every single bushing point, upper control arms, ball joint is greasable. And then even down there on the lowers, I got grease nipples as well, and tie rods as well. So we'll make sure that all these points get greased up, and other than our little tire issue, everything should be good to go. Unfortunately, I still have this tire to deal with, and just because you guys might be wondering, for any of you guys that were wondering, there you go, 35 pounds of pressure, which is what I always usually try and run these at. So it's too bad. Well, here we go. My last in stock 3/15/25/23. It's been used. I was just checking the date code on it. If you guys aren't familiar with date codes on tires, they're pretty important because they tell you how old things are, and this tire is old. You can just tell by that sound how hard the rubber is. So if you spin it around, it's usually just on one side of your tire. This little guy right here, 2305. So that means the 23rd week of 2005. So that's right guys, this tire is 17 years old. And if you look really close, you can see they've fought getting the tire on or off, because look at this rubber band in reality. Sidewall here, kind of similar story to this guy over here. Now the rear tires on this truck are Continentals, and they're actually holding up quite well. I think that part of the reason why this guy blew out, whether it was driven on with low pressure or the belts just decided to let go because of age, it could be either one of those situations. But this is a Fulda. I don't even know what a Fulda tire is or who makes it. All I can tell you is that they're non-name brand and they're 17 years old. So it's kind of a burn, right? I still have a Continental up here. Like I said, the Continentals have been doing me pretty good, and it's unfortunate that I lost that Continental on that side with that other wheel when I first got the truck back on the road. It lost air on me, and I drove on it with low pressure too long. So the tire will hold air, but I'm not comfortable driving on it. So I think they started making this tire size again. I'm like fingers crossed. The other thing is I actually have a brand new set of Nitto to 95/30, so a little bit more narrow sidewall, a little bit taller but not by much. They were the Nitto 555s. They are brand new, never mounted. I've had them stored in pretty good climate, but they're up in Canada, so I might have to try and get those down here. And well, it might be an opportunity to break out my brand new barrels that I have and just have these wheels rebuilt. So might be an opportunity. I might have to find some stock Lightning wheels. You know, I'll get this tire swapped so it's on here for now, and at least I can, you know, go back and forth to the shop because it's literally just down the road. The reality is these tires are so small in terms of sidewall. If they're flat or you get a blowout, you almost don't even notice it's happening other than the sound, or your steering wheel starts pulling because, well, again, they're pretty much rubber bands. Holy shit, they do make them. Whew, there's a closeout. There's 6 in stock, $565 a tire. I bought the set of 4 brand new Nittos that I found that were like new old stock, I think for $500 shipped. But you know what? I think I might have to pull the trigger, because what's going to happen when these guys aren't there anymore, right? There we go, $2,000 in tires. But you know what? Kind of goes back to my wheel video. These wheels, I think the wheels and tires new back in the day was pushing about $10,000, and that was just part of the wheel game. You wanted to have nice wheels, you were paying for them. And to this day, you still have to pay for really nice wheels. If you got a 3-piece or a 2-piece, anything modular or a really nice monoblock, that's quality. You're gonna pay for them, especially this day and age with the cost of materials and logistics and everything else. It's not cheap to have really good wheels. So I'm gonna finish swapping out that DJM suspension. So thank you again to DJM for, you know, warrantying something that they didn't have to warranty. And I have to tell you guys that for the amount of driving and everything else that this truck has done, with the lowering control arms, the drop springs, the C-notch in the back, and by the way, I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again. My C-notch is a bolt-in C-notch. It is not welded in. It's a full flip kit for the axle, and then, you know, you get really close to your frame. So I cut the frame, drilled the holes, bolted it in, and I have towed. I have done everything. There's almost 200,000 miles on this truck, 100,000 of which have almost 100,000 of which that have seen that C-notch. So I think that that goes to say that their products are pretty damn good quality. So there you have it, guys. Big thanks again to DJM for hooking me up with a set of replacement shocks. You guys didn't have to do it, but you did anyways, which is super awesome. And for anybody watching, I can highly recommend their product. I'm only an advocate for products that I personally use and that I believe in. And you know what? I invested in this kit a real long time ago, and well, it hasn't let me down now. So there you go. There's my 2 cents. And thanks for following along with this crazy video. I'm glad I did end up picking up the camera today because, you know, it's just kind of swapping shocks. It's not really an amazing DIY or anything else, but it just goes to show how random and how lucky we can be when we're doing maintenance items, because whether you are changing your oil or changing your shocks, it gives you an opportunity to look at other things. And if I wasn't doing these maintenance items, like I said, I could have been stranded on the road. I am so surprised that I made that 100-mile round trip today. Just would have taken one bad pothole or anything else, and that tire definitely would have blown out. So anyways, there you have it. Till next time, we'll see you then.